We lost $652,000, and in the process, we created a monster. The scary part? That same monster is hiding inside your business right now. But if you fix just one thing, you can kill it before it destroys your profits. I'm talking about how your company buys stuff, because from what I've seen, your vendors are your #1 liability. Hi, I'm Kurt Jackson. After setting up hundreds of thousands of square feet of manufacturing and spending millions on huge industry equipment like this, I've seen how these projects can go wrong, and more importantly, what we can do to keep them on track. In this video, I'll share 5 powerful tips that will help you identify risk and keep your business from bleeding cash. And stick with me, because by the end, I'll share the one thing you can do to actually kill these monsters for good.
Hey guys, it's already midnight and I never recorded a segue for this because I'm bad at YouTube, so.
I looked my coworker in the eyes as we stood in front of this $600,000, 30-foot tall furnace, and we were both just speechless. It was nothing like what we had ordered. And the worst part, we needed 4 more. We did everything right. Specs, quotes, approvals, and still we ended up with a monster. One that was eating our budget, our time, our energy, and our sanity. So I asked him, how do we stop building monsters like this? And we didn't have an answer, but that question changed how I looked at buying things forever. This is my first tip. Everyone likes to say move fast, break things, but that's how mistakes happen. In one of my favorite books, How Big Things Get Done, my favorite line is, think slow, act fast. And this is really important for expensive, long lead time projects. There's so much pressure today to ship, to grow, to expand, that we often forget that the time we spend thinking is practically free. It's especially important when you're spending real money. Before I work with any vendor, I try to know exactly what I need beforehand. Because for every hour I spend thinking now, it will save me days of headache down the road. That's why I believe that thinking is your superpower. So use it where it counts. But whether or not you think slow, every few weeks I hear it again. Let's just try a different vendor. And every time I think to myself, that's exactly how we started this mess. But that's exactly what we said when we saw that furnace. 30 feet tall, 600 grand, and completely wrong. So we try a different vendor, and guess what? Months later, different guy, same result. Another monster, another expensive lesson. I know it's easy and convenient to blame the vendor, but we have to remember that this monster, its roots go deeper. So my second realization, and I believe this entirely, that if you want to win for the long run, you have to spend for success. I've learned it the hard way countless times. The cheap answer always costs more in time, stress, and momentum. We tell ourselves, let's just save money and fix the problems later. But those band-aids pile up and they slow us down. And so I want to shout it from the rooftops. The right solution is worth 10 times more than good enough. Because we have to remember this, in business, your momentum is your life. And once it's gone, it's nearly impossible to rebuild. So stop buying cheap problems and spend for success. So finally, I found a vendor that was confident and willing to charge us what the furnace was worth. I did my research and I spent the money. I thought I had done everything right. And somehow, the second furnace also turns into a monster. I thought to myself, what's going on here? And that's when I realized that even the best plans can go bad when execution slips. Spending more doesn't buy you success. It buys you the opportunity to do it right. But then I was left wondering, what do I have to do to earn that successful outcome? This is when I looked inward and realized that nothing kills a project like noise. Of course your vendor can't follow the signal when there's so many voices shouting so many different things. There has to be just one voice to rise above the rest, to set the vision and guide the direction. We think that having more people on a project makes it more likely to succeed. But in most cases, more visions just mean more confusion, which creates more waste and kills even more momentum. So pick one leader. Sometimes that means sitting out. Let the signal be loud and cut out all of the unnecessary noise. And lucky for me, I had that opportunity. There was another project, $200,000, completely my budget, my voice, my vision. And when it came time to ordering, I was so excited. Everything will work out this time because I'm the one everyone comes to. I'm the one to make the decision. And then I go to the vendors and it's still a mess. I can't help but think that the monster is gonna get me no matter where I go. But in that case, I had it all. I had $200,000, a vision, a team that was executing great, and the vendor still made my head want to explode. I just felt like giving up. I thought that sourcing simple stuff shouldn't be this hard. It's just communicating requirements and deliverables, right? But every time, no matter how simple, something breaks. Timelines slip, vendors misunderstand, and I end up cleaning the mess. And that's when I realized that the problem wasn't the vendor, the budget, or the timeline. It was something that we all overlooked. And once I realized that, everything changed. It took me this long to realize that vendors are just people too. Last week, one of my vendors had a baby. And you're probably thinking, how does a vendor have a baby? Because it's not just a vendor. It's a guy named Ryan, a real person with a family, a life, and things that happen outside the project plan. It's easy to forget that sometimes. We think that vendors are just machines that deliver what we need, and not people with a life who are doing their best to deliver outcomes. And I realized that it's our job to plan for that. Because life happens and good leaders build systems that allow people to be human. So after all of that, I finally realized where the roots of the monster are. The real problem isn't bad suppliers, unclear specs, and broken processes. It's forgetting that behind every transaction there's a human. And it's great leaders who are needed to build systems that support those people. The real problem was leadership the entire time. And the moment I realized that, I understood there was no monster. I slowed down, I thought clearly, and I built a plan that was focused around us being humans. And I realized that's how we make a difference, and that's how we build momentum. And if that resonates with you, I'd love it if you watched this video and left a comment. It's amazing to hear your stories. So if you spare the time, I'd definitely like to read it. Thank you so much for watching. Godspeed.